guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and same here with my April TBR. I am really excited for April. We are only a couple months away from summer. I have so many fun plans in April. I have a lot of fun plans in the summer, so it's just gonna be an amazing next 4 months that I'm super looking forward to. I do have the J.R. Ward author event I'm going to at the beginning of April. I'm gonna go to her book release in Cincinnati. Technically, I think it's considered Kentucky, but I think it's Cincinnati. It's a weird line on the border, and I didn't even put it on here. 2 books right away. I need to read the last 2 in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series before the new one. I'm 2 books behind. I don't even remember what they're called. I didn't write them down on my list, but I am listening to those 2 audiobooks before the book event, where I will be getting a hardcover signed copy of the book from her. That's the ticket was worth the price of the book, so I'm excited to go. I haven't been to one since 2019. I was supposed to go to the one in 2020, and it was supposed to be in April, and that got canceled. So I do also have a bunch of book clubs and a read-along I'm doing, and so I'm just gonna get to the books. So the first book club I have is my Historical Hellions book club. We are reading A Gentle Feuding by Joanna Lindsay. I'm very excited for this because it is a Scottish romance. We have a Scottish hero. Okay, so it said she dared to refuse him, though her gentle beauty was the prize of his sword. So I wonder if he fought and won her. And ooh, between them were the hatreds of their warring Scottish clans. We love a good enemies to lovers, and it's when their clans are feuding and then they have to get together. So it sounds like they're gonna be hate to love or rivals to lovers. It even says on the front that clan hatred fired their blood. So very, very excited for this. And then we are, for my Roush by Romance book club, reading The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. I'm very excited. It is a monster romance. It's dragon romance. That's all I know, so it's gonna be a fun experience. I am not well versed in the monster romance world, so we'll see how that goes. Then I am hosting the readathon for the Fallen Men series with Tori from Live a Novel Life. We are 2 books in already, and so we have our live shows every 2 weeks. So our first live show is going to be on Thursday, which I think is the day this is coming out, so check out our live show. It's at 7 p.m. I have to reread the other 4 books in the series before the new one comes out, so I'm actually almost done with my reread of book 2, and then I need to read Good, Gone, Bad, which I'm super excited for. And after the fall, this live show will be on my channel, and I already have the live show up as a scheduled live show, so that's on my channel. I think it's the 13th or something. And then we are reading my favorite Inked in Lies. I'm gonna actually reread and annotate my paperback copy and then read A Dead Man Walking. I do have the audiobooks of most of these except for this one and After the Fall. I'll probably end up buying After the Fall. I got a lot of them in the Audible sale except for books 4 and 5, so I kind of want to get 5 though too, so I can just reread it whenever I want to, because I bought books in that sale that I thought I would want to reread. So I got 4 of the 6 Fallen Men audiobooks, but this live show is going to be on Tori's channel. And then I'm reading Caution to the Wind, which actually comes out April 29th, I think. And we're having our live show that next Wednesday on my channel to chat about the new release. I just talked to Gianna last night on my channel on the day I'm filming this, and it was so much fun. She is just the most amazing human being ever, and I love her to death. So I love supporting her. I love reading her books, because actually, while I'm on the subject, I do want to finish out her Evolution of Sin series. I read book 1 and really enjoyed it, so I really want to read the rest of them. A woman has an affair with a man who's engaged on her vacation, so I know who that woman actually is. He is engaged to someone she knows, but she doesn't know that he's engaged to someone she knows. She just knows that he's engaged, but they are really into each other. And so it does deal with cheating. That's why the first one's called The Affair, but I'm excited to finish out the series. So I do want to read these 2 as well. Then I have a couple of series I want to finish and a couple of historical romances I want to read. I definitely need to finish the Brutal Birthright series. So I have Heavy Crown and Broken Vow. I think this one is the cowboy bodyguard romance, and I really enjoyed seeing their characters. The heroine's a lawyer, and I'm excited to read this. And then I do have the audio of this one. I don't know much about this plot though. I loved the 4th book to death. Bloody Heart was amazing. One of my favorites of the series. I was obsessed with it, and so I'm really excited to continue on. Just like with the Fallen Men series, I only bought the ones that were $3 on audio during the Audible sale, so I didn't buy the ones that were $7 or $10 or even $6, which now I'm I should have just bought them. But I was already buying $60 worth of audiobooks, so I didn't. But I want to finish out the series, so I'm definitely going to read this physically or on my ebook reader, and then this one as an audiobook. I really want to continue on the Campus Tale series by QB Tyler, Book 2 is the one of the older sister with her dad's best friend slash her boss. Really excited for that. And then I think this one is Book 3 because I thought this was Book 2, but it's not, because this is a best friends to lovers romance. They're really short, really quick, but I really enjoy the first one, which is a student professor romance, and they're just really good taboo times, though this one doesn't sound too taboo because he is her best friend, so yeah. Then I really need to get to The Confidence of Wildflowers by Macaulay Smeltzer. This one the author sent to me, and it is so pretty. And this says, I was 18, he was 31, we were worlds apart but right next door. So he actually asks her to babysit for him or like nanny for him, and it sounds really good. I love a good age gap. I want to read this like really soon. So I'm on spring break right now and I have 2 books to read, and then I want to take a day where I read like 3 books in one day if I can, and then start I should have gotten that. I do want to read Sarah J. Maas's books. So I want to read Crescent City 1 at the end of my spring break and maybe start Crescent City 2 next week, but this one's one I really want to read this week. I know a couple people have read it. Pretty sure Madison from Princess of Paperback really enjoyed it, so I want to read it. I also I'm really trying hard to finish series I start, especially if they're short. Like this is a duet. I finally have to get to Mafia Darling by Mila Finelli. I loved Mafia Mistress, and I feel like that book has been making its rounds on BookTube. I know some people have hated it, but I know some people have loved it, and I personally really enjoyed it. I know Sam and Tori read it the same time I was reading it, and then they finished it, of course, because I am so bad at finishing any series I start, and everybody finishes it before me, but I need to read this because the first book ended on a cliffhanger, and while it's fresh in my mind, I want to read it. She ends up having an affair with her fiance's dad, and now it's like an arranged marriage. It's not really her fiance. They're supposed to get married. Their dads make a plan for them to get married because they're from mafia families. She doesn't want to, but she's kidnapped and taken to Italy. Like kidnapped, she's like forced to go to Italy, but she's not really kidnapped, and live there and falls for his dad. She doesn't really like the son, just as a friend, and the son doesn't like her except for as a friend. So it's like not as taboo as it sounds, but it's really good. So I'm really excited to read the second one. I don't know if I should make a video for this, but I have 3 historical romances that different authors have talked about and recommended that I'm really intrigued by. So the first one is Kennedy Ryan has always talked about Night in Eden by Candace Proctor. She loves this book. I really want to read it. That's why I bought it, because I had it like set an alert on eBay and finally got it, though the inner page is taken out and I don't know if there's a step back or not because it's like got that cut out and it's very old. But the heroine is unjustly accused and sentenced to indentured servitude in New South Wales. Captain Hayden St. John can save her. Oh, she has a child. I don't know what else this is about, but I really want to read this because she's raved about it. Then I was talking to Joanna Shoup. I'm pretty sure it's Joanna Shoup, and she mentioned this. And I was like, I have to read that. It's definitely very 80s bodice ripper, and that is Prisoner of My Desire by Joanna Lindsay. So the heroine has to have a baby, and so she kidnaps the hero, forces him to get her pregnant, and he is livid, and so he kidnaps her after he's let go and forces her through the same thing. So definitely a very not so great moral plot line, but sounds very intense. And so Joanna Shoup had talked about it and she recommended it, and she did say like, yeah, like consent is thrown out the window in this book, but it's a very reminiscent of the 80s bodice rippers, so I'm very intrigued to see how that's going to play out and how they have a happily ever after together. So very interested in reading this one. And then I guess this one's Joanna Shoup too. So Joanna Shoup also talked about this author. I didn't realize that because this was from a previous interview I saw her do with Lacey, and she talked about Lions and Lace by Megan McKinney because this was a older Gilded Age romance, and Joanna Shoup writes Gilded Age in America, and so she recommended this one as an older Gilded Age romance, and I know Lacey's actually read this one already. And so the hero bankrupted her fortune and would expose her family's secret unless she accepted his offer and his blackmail. So I don't know what that means. I think we have another morally gray hero, and I feel like that's so common in older historicals and just so fascinating to read about if you like the morally gray kind of villainous heroes. So I'm excited to read that. Okay, so now I have a bunch of books on Kindle or on audio, so I'm just going to run through these. I'm not going to say too much about the plot because I don't know too much about them and I don't have them with me to look them up. But the first one is A Daring Pursuit by Kate Bateman. I'm so excited for her second book. I really loved Reckless Match, so this is something I definitely want to read. read. We also have Terms and Conditions. This one is Lauren Asher. I really enjoyed the first book, which I'm blanking on right now, The Fine Print, and this is the other brothers, and I don't know if this one is the one where he has to get married. There were 3 brothers, and they all 3 had stipulations they had to have in order to get their spots as like owners of the company, I think, and so I've heard nothing but amazing things about this one, so I'm really excited to read it. I also have Love on the Brain by Ellie Hazelwood. I have an e-arc of this one. I'm trying to get through my e-arcs because I haven't been reading them as much from NetGalley. I don't even know what the plot of this one is. I just know people are really excited. I really love The Life Hypothesis. I've been loving her novellas that have been releasing as audiobooks, so I'm excited for that. I also have The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman that I've been meaning to read for months now, and I really want to get to it this month. This one, I believe her husband or someone lost their life and their heart was given to someone else, and it's their romance. And then we have The Dawn. I want to read some more mafia romances because I'm loving those, so that's on my list as well. Then from the library, I do have Dating Dr. Dill. I've seen this one around a lot as well. I finally got the audio book in, and I've seen the author a lot on TikTok, and she's awesome, so I'm excited to read this one. I also have To Taste Temptation by Elizabeth Hoyt. This one is the first book in the series. I read one of the later ones and I really liked it, and I think they're all wounded soldiers, so I'm excited to go back and read the first one. So Beguile Beast is the one I read and really enjoyed. Then I have The Pirate Takes a Bride by Shanna Galen. I'm trying to find new historical romance authors, so I saw pirate in the title and I downloaded it, so I was excited for that. I also want to read the rest of the Hathaway series. Tori from Novel Life has been reading through them and I'm jealous, so I want to read Tempt Me at Twilight. I've not yet read past book 2, and book 2 was kind of a letdown. I still really enjoyed it, but I didn't like absolutely love it like I thought I would, so I didn't continue on the series, but I want to. And then I have Highland Wolf by Lindsay Sands. I just really want to read more Lindsay Sands, and this is her newest release. I really like the cover, and my mom read it, or she's still reading it. I don't know if she finished it, but she said she was really enjoying it, so I really want to read that one. Then I have Rogue to Remember, which is Emily Sullivan, because I have the audio of her second book, which is The Rebel and the Rake, so I want to read, I think the first one's The Rogue to Remember. I want to read these two. I was supposed to read her first book during the historical romance readathon we did in December, and I never got around to it, so I really want to read both of those. And then I need to read Brush with Love by Maisie Eddings, I think is the author's name, and I love following her on Instagram, and I've seen so many good things about her book, and I finally got the audiobook, and it's about dentists, so I think they're both in dental school, possibly, or they're both full-on dentists, but I know I got a really cute package from the publisher with like toothbrushes and like floss and stuff, so I thought it was really fun, and I want to support debut authors, so I have that on audio as well. And those are all the books that I'm hoping to read in April. Let me know what you plan to read and what you're excited for me to read. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day.